Hey, hi, hello, welcome to Kitten Kajira Gaming. Welcome if you are new. You can call me KK, and we are doing a very special Spookyween edition of a horror house build that I have been building for the last 2 or 3 weeks over on Twitch and sometimes on YouTube when I can get the streaming services to work. But with the help of my lovely followers and some ridiculous spins of the wheel, I have finally finished this horror movie inspired house over here in the Forgotten Hollow, and I am so excited for this build. Some of the rooms have been inspired by Silent Hill, Silence of the Lambs, It, Saw, 23 Weeks Later, Leprechaun, and also things like The Ring, The Grudge, and The Conjuring, and Stranger Things. Let's go ahead, let's take a look at our house, and let's just see exactly how spooky this place is. Here we go. Welcome into the House of Horrors over in the Forgotten Hollow. So we're going to start off with the shell's exterior. This is based off of the Lexica from Silent Hill 3, and I think we did a pretty good job replicating it the best we can. This house is eventually going to be up on the gallery, and I will have on the screen what exactly our gallery name is because this is technically my husband's account, so it's not going to be under my name, and I don't know what name his is under. But I digress. Let's take a look at our shell and the exterior before we go inside this spooky build. So as we approach this house, this is a 30 by 30 lot. There are 4 complete floors, the bottom being the main living area, the second floor having some bedrooms, the third having a guest bedroom and bath and an office, and the top being the occult room, because of course every spooky house has to have something to do with the occult. So some of the lot traits are on a dark ley line, vampire nexus, and vampire lair, as well as our challenges being creepy crawlies, cursed, scare seeker, and spooky. I definitely think just the outside vibe alone is giving that feel of the creepiness. So we're going to take a look around on the outside first. So starting on the complete outside of the lot, we have this very spooky pathway down here, which is inspired by Stranger Things. So there's lots of various alien growth, different types of plants, some spider webs, and glowing mushrooms. And of course, we do have a little backyard area back here for your Sims to get together and hang out with their friends. But of course, we had to keep it spooky with our Strangerville, the upside down vibes. If we follow this pathway around to the back of the house, we come to an outside laundry hanging area and a nod to Vecna in this tree. This tree is from this lovely creator over here on the gallery. So be sure if you want to include this in your own build, you go and check them out. Everything else in this build is designed by my own hands. And I just absolutely love the way this came out. It's definitely not quite the upside down that I was hoping to make, but it'll definitely do for what we've got in The Sims. And just as an added nod of something coming out of the upside down, we do have some muddy paw prints. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the bottom floor patio. So the bottom floor was inspired by the movie Halloween. And honestly, with this floor, I did have quite a hard time replicating the movie because realistically, the movie is nothing but a slasher film. So how do I create that in The Sims? I just kind of made it your basic Halloween decor with a little bit of spooky around. So there's a bunch of pumpkins. There's a pumpkin carving station over here in the corner and a little plant station for whatever reason. There's knives. That's what my takeaway was. Is I tried to do a bunch of things with knives and with fire. So around the front, I do have some swords on the wall. There are some knives over here on this table. And then because Mike Myers tends to always show up when there is a crowd, we of course have some things for our friends to do, like that guitar over there in the front. And then back here, we do have on the patio, we have a little grill. And of course, we have some more knives and some skulls. Now let's start our tour on the bottom floor in the very front of the house. So let's go ahead and go through our front main doors. And we are greeted here with our 28 weeks later theme. Now, of course, when we come in, we are greeted with just this little radio station and a bunch of posters. I'm treating these as missing posters. If you guys are not familiar with 28 Weeks Later, it is a zombie apocalypse style movie. And I wanted this floor to have a grand entrance. So we have just the main stairs that go up. We have a prepper station over here on the right. And then on the right, that leads to our living room and playroom. And then over here, we have the dining and kitchen area. So I tried to keep the walls a corrugated metal just to try and make it that bunker feel. There are, of course, of various amounts of stains all over the floor. And to finish out our foyer and entryway on the back side of these stairs, we do have an entire wall of missing posters. We have a infected plant, some biohazard, and a listening
Before we
station.
go any
further, let's start over here in the living room. So as we enter the it-styled living room, we are met with a bunch of creepy things, including little nods to Georgie and Pennywise. So we do have a very gigantic Pennywise photo over here with a nod to the spider. There's a bunch of pipes, graffiti, cobwebs, a busted down light, and of course the infamous single red balloon. And we do have Georgie's little steamboat there as well. Connected to our it room is a child's playroom inspired by the movie Megan. Megan is a horror film that is about an AI robot doll that is trying to take out her family, and she's very, very creepy looking. If you guys have never seen the movie, I highly recommend checking it out. The premise of the movie just seems so awesome. So we just have a bunch of like kids art and kids toys. That is our representation of Megan. And other than that, honestly, this room is not quite creepy at all. Let's check out the rest of the house. Leaving the living room right across the hall, we are met with the dining room, which is inspired by the movie Insidious. So it is lots of red tones, scratches all over the wall. We have a summoning circle rug underneath, and then of course we have some of the ghost gnomes popping through. I wish the ghosts that we actually did have in the game were a little bit creepier, but these gnomes will definitely have to do. Paired right up to the Insidious room is the kitchen inspired by Silence of the Lambs. So of course we're going to have a lot of bones and human remains everywhere, including some mysterious stains on our floor. Everything in this house is actually fully functioning, so this is a completely working kitchen, even with its oddities. As we round the kitchen corner, we are now again to the back end of the staircase, but to our left before we go out the back side, we do have a half bath downstairs. And as we enter the half bath, this room was inspired by The Hills Have Eyes, so it is a very rundown, a very old school, very broken. There's a myriad of different stains all over the floor. Don't ask. You don't want to know. Again, everything in here is fully functioning. And as we leave the bathroom, we're going to go to the other side of the hallway, and we're going to enter our fully functioning laundry area. This laundry area is designed off of the old 1990s horror film Leprechauns. So of course we have a bunch of our gnomes everywhere, piles of dirty laundry. The premise of the movie Leprechauns is there's some evil space alien leprechauns that kind of take over the city. So I did do a very city core-esque style build. So there's different street signs and there's a various amount of junk all over the floor. This is probably the least creepiest room in the house that's based off of a horror film besides the movie. We're now going to take our grand staircase up, and we are going to take a peek at what we have going on in the second floor. Once you get up to the second floor, it does look completely normal until you take a look around your surroundings, and it gets darker and darker as it continues until you get to the very end and realize you are in the Carrie movie hallway. Before we go check out the rest of the hallway, we are going to check out this first room here on the right. And this is a bedroom inspired by the movie Gothica. Gothica, again, is an early 2000s movie based on, I believe she was a police detective that went insane. And she's just trying to basically tell everybody she's not crazy. So she's stuck in a mental asylum, and it's just a very psychological thriller. It's been a long time since I've actually seen this movie, but I do remember growing up, it was one of my favorites. So we do have a bunch of clutter on the floor because as she's in there, she is doing a bunch of research, trying to seek justice for this one particular person, and that's just a little person we made in that photo frame up there. In the movie Gothica, there are blood-stained words that do appear on the wall. So I just took a neon sign and just kind of plopped it up there as a nod to the words that keep mysteriously appearing on her walls. And of course, we had to have different holes, scratches, dingy it up, and of course, put mysterious stains on the wall and floor as well. This door, you will notice, is different than all the other interior doors that we have because I did try to, again, recreate this door to look just like her room door over in the movie. We're going to travel across the hall and we are going into a second bedroom. This bedroom is inspired by the movie High Tension, which I have never seen the movie High Tension, but from looking at all the movie stills, it is a very much horror slasher film that involved some cars. The synopsis said that it was two girls that ended up going to like their somebody's parents' farm, and they were basically hunted down by somebody in a truck and kidnapped, and that's just where we ran with. So this is a loft style bed. So there's a single bed up there with a computer down underneath it. Lots of book clutter and props on the cars. Back in the hallway, we're going to continue walking around this Carrie inspired movie hallway. So I kind of did it in stages. It starts all kind of bright and cheery and it slowly gets darker and darker. So we have a little vanity area over here as a nod to Carrie getting ready for the prom, her classic pink dress, and just some classic clutter on the vanity. We have some pig posters here. Again, another nod. And then we get to the brutality of it all, where we have a bunch of candles to signify the fire that she started after she was dumped with a bunch of pig's blood on her. So we have a mannequin here dressed in Carrie's garb with some random splatters and boot prints all over the floor. And then we have two doors on this side of the hallway as well, and just a little mirror to kind of take up some space. We're going to check out this room right here, and honestly, I think this is probably one of my favorite rooms. This is the Beetlejuice-inspired bathroom. So it is very green and purple with lots of bugs. These Beetlejuice posters are from this lovely creator over here on the gallery if you guys want to include them in a speed build of your own. Of course, we have a cow plant to symbolize the sandworms. It looks even better when it's dead because I do have it designed where it will still keep its black and white appearance. Lots of bug lights on the wall. And honestly, this is probably one of my favorites. Before we go to this door here on the end, we're going to check out this room over here. And this is the master bedroom. This was inspired by American Horror Story. So again, it's not really all that creepy unless you know where exactly this is from. Of course, we just have the Shadow Man over here in the corner with some boxes because I did want it kind of as if they had just moved into the house before everything started. And their ensuite bathroom over here is inspired by The Grudge. So it is very grungy, still very outdated. And then my favorite little nod is I put a doll head coming up from the bathtub. The bathtub is still fully functioning, even with the doll head in it. But I absolutely loved just kind of creating this room, even though it is pretty simple. It does lend the nod to the horror film, which is exactly what we're going for. As we leave the American Horror Story inspired master bedroom, we are going to follow this Simi out to the second floor balcony. And this balcony is inspired by Poltergeist. Poltergeist is a movie about, well, a little girl that gets taken by a bunch of ghosts. So out here, we are just going to have a bunch of different children's toys and a bunch of different occult style items. As you continue down this way, we did make a little nod to the scene of the ghosts and children coming out of the TV using those very creepy gnomes. This chair is functionable, but I don't think these TVs are. We do have a functioning TV down this end with some more creepy doll toys. And of course, we have another functioning TV and some old style rocking chairs. On the backside, we just have some electronic communication devices as a nod of them trying to get in touch with the missing child. We have the Grim toy here and some more creepy yarn toys. And another, we have like this extractor thing. And then down there is a robot bench. After we come inside from the second floor balcony, we are going to take this door right here to the right. And this is our first ladder well up to the third floor. And this room was inspired by Chucky. So I just kept the bright colors and just tried to kind of mimic. No idea what I tried to mimic in here, but this is inspired by Chucky. I feel like I could have done this room a little bit better, but it is still very creepy on its own. Now let's go ahead and take the ladder well upstairs and see what we find. Once you come up this ladder well is inspired by House of a Thousand Corpses, and very much lots of scratched out window panes. There's meat and bones and dust all over the floor. Just a very, very overall creepy aesthetic. There are some splatters on the window, which isn't quite showing up in camera mode, but they are there when you are in live mode. Once we leave the ladder well, we come to this very creepy room here, and this is the hallway that was inspired by Annabelle. For me, this room is eerily creepy, particularly because of this baby, this little white baby thing. I have no idea what it does or where it's from. It's from Debug. I don't know its purpose. You can't interact with it. It doesn't do anything. So I just put a bunch of creepy dolls everywhere for that Annabelle feel. And honestly, like, this room in itself kind of gives me the creeps, especially when all the lights are lit. But as soon as you leave the ladder well, you come to this first door here, and this is one of our bathrooms. This bathroom is inspired by The Ring. So as a nod to The Ring, I do have a girl over there that is supposed to be Samara. I kept the circle window. We also have a circle on the wall. And then I ended up merging a black and white picture into the TV with a head popping out of the TV. And then in the movie, at the very beginning, there's a guy that has all of these cords in the bathtub. And that is just what we did. And then there is another door in here which does connect to our bedroom. This bedroom over here is inspired by Insidious. Even though it is not exactly creepy looking, if you can get the tiny nods and tiny Easter eggs, it does lend to that super creep factor. We are back out in the main hallway, and we are going to finish up with this room over here. This room on this floor is the study, and this room, even though it is the brightest, is inspired by 13 Ghosts. 13 Ghosts is a horror film about a guy who kept some ghosts locked up. And they're very terrifying ghosts. All of the ghosts died. They died in horrific ways. And in order to seal them back up, he had to find the 13th ghost, which is the ghost that is a sacrifice of love. So I just have a bunch of different pictures and posters as nods to all of these ghosts and his research. There is a working computer here with all of his research kind of cluttered everywhere. This dry erase board from high school years is actually workable. And then we have this wormhole generator thing, which I thought was just the perfect nod into 13 Ghosts. And because a lot of the flooring in the movie was glass, I just put the dance floor here. So do expect your Sims to dance a little bit in here, which might be a little bit creepy. As we leave the 13 Ghost study, there is one more ladder well over here. And this one might not look as creepy. This reference was kind of hard to do. This was in the reference of the movie May. I have never seen the movie, but I did try to recreate this scene here with all of these items. I'm not entirely sure how I did. I think I did the best I could, given I don't really know anything about this movie. We're gonna take this ladder well up onto our occult room, and I'll meet you guys. We are in the occult room. So this room is inspired by Amityville Horror. Amityville Horror is a true crime movie. This movie was inspired by the Amityville Horror. Amityville Horror is a horror movie, but it was based off of a real-life tragedy that took place in Amityville. I believe it was Rhode Island, but it is about a guy and his entire family that gets haunted by ghosts, and a lot of unaliving happened there. So I kind of wanted to make upstairs almost as if the guy was going insane, because the main guy that was in the movie, that was in the real life Amityville Horror, did end up going insane. So I kind of wanted to play on that. So we have a bunch of different paintings all over the wall. So we do have some skill items up here. We have the easel and some sketching. We have, this is an archaeological dig site over there. And of course we have the seance table. And the cauldron over here, which we'll see exactly what all they get up to. That is going to do for my first ever completed build here on The Sims that I am sharing with you guys. You guys usually just watch me kind of piece things together over on Twitch and here live on YouTube. But I am completely finished with this, and I am so both overwhelmed and super excited about how this came out. If you guys did enjoy this build, give this video a great big thumbs up. It really and truly does help me in the algorithm. And let me know in the comments down below which room was your favorite, or if you have any other sim build ideas, leave them down below as well. If you guys do enjoy this type of content, including all other cozy game content, including but not limited to The Sims, DLV, and Palia, don't forget to click that subscribe button and the notification bell. It really and truly does help me in the algorithm. And while you guys are down in that description box, don't forget you can follow me across all social media sites. That's Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. I do stream quite a few days a week over here on YouTube and on Twitch, so be sure to follow me on those socials for my posting schedule. I am a small-time content creator looking to grow her channel in 2024, and hope you guys will continue on this journey with me. Thank you so much for watching my very first Sims House of Horror walkthrough. I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys!